What's good, family? So smash the like button and subscribe. Wow. Things are getting truly serious right now as it pertains to the Manny Pacquiao versus Errol Spence pullout gate. Eye gate. Yeah? So, as you man know who have followed my channel, your man the YB USA from the jump smelt a rat. Smelt something wasn't quite adding up right, and as you've seen on my channel over the last few days since Errol Spence faked his eye injury, your man the YB USA has kept his foot firmly on the PBC Pacquiao protection program, because you best believe ever since what you man thought that PBC and Al Heyman was going to let Pacquiao run through another PBC top tier fighter. I don't think so. Some of you man have got a short memory. What do we know? Oh, did you forget what happened to your man's Keith Thurman? Keith Thurman was the hottest thing since sliced bread. It was all about Keith Thurman. What happened to him? Pacquiao popped his cherry for him. No doubt, Keith Thurman ain't been the same since. I'm not even sure he's fought since. Oops. Let's not forget this. The whole talk was about Keith Thurman and Errol Spence. Pacquiao came along and popped Keith's cherry all the way in for him. Yeah? Pushed his ish all the way back in. No doubt about that. At which point, Team PBC and the PBC Pacquiao Protection Program was initiated and created. Al Heyman could never afford again for Pacquiao, or for anyone really, to take out any of his top cats, least of all Errol Spence. Because at that point, Errol Spence would be 2 for 2. I'm not being funny. Keith Thurman and Errol Spence, they were the 2 ones. Keith Thurman's gone now. He's washed. Pacquiao washed him. And that was the first occasion where Al Heyman, PBC, they thought they were going to do something smart. They thought there was good business to be had. Because how PBC have been using Pacquiao, is essentially trying to take use his big pay-per-view name for their own benefit. Oh yeah, we'll put Keith in there with Pacquiao, and then we'll knock Pacquiao out, and that's going to make Keith into a big pay-per-view star. Oops. Keith got his wig pushed back. You know what Keith Thurman's like? Keith Thurman has a big fluffy wig on the top of his head. Pacquiao knocked it right off for him. Keith Thurman never been the same since. Keith Thurman has never been the same since Pacquiao popped his cherry. No doubt. So don't ever forget that. So there we go. Now we move forward to today, 2021. Errol Spence building up to fight Manny Pacquiao. What do we know? I reported on it before Spence pulled out. I said, you man, keep your eyes and ears open, because from what I'm hearing, Team Spence are nervous. The evidence is there. You can see the videos. This was before Spence pulled out. Not after, like all these other goofy channels do. Before Spence pulled out, I told you I had people in Spence's camp and they were feeling nervous. They were feeling nervous because Pacquiao, there was reports and evidence of Pacquiao looking sharper than anything. Looking like he's 21 again. 21 but with 30 years boxing experience. One of them ones. And Team Spence were nervous. To add insult to injury, Team Spence, they was putting footage out there of them getting lit up and then having to take it down. They was messy. Team Spence were going through it. Yeah, Team Spence was super nervous, super stressed. And then obviously, they ended up initiating the PBC Pacquiao Protection Program. And they found a way out of the Pacquiao fight, alleging they had an eye injury. Now, like I told you at the start of the video, I smelt a rat from the jump, especially given the fact that I'd been hearing that they was nervous before they pulled out. And I even said, I'm pretty sure in one of my videos, don't be shocked if Spence don't turn up, or if Spence pulls out. Because I was hearing all the wrong kind of things. Don't get me wrong, publicly speaking, Spence was giving it all the big one. But what do we know recently? In recent times, a lot of the people who pull out, just before they pull out, they give a big song and dance. Look at Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, before he pulled out of the AJ fight, big song and dance, and then pulls out. Look at Errol Spence. The day before he pulled out, he was making comments about how he was going to retire Pacquiao. Oops. But anyway, let's get to today's evidence. So today's video, as you've seen by the title, because of my skepticism over or because of my skepticism and the evidence we've seen to the contrary of what they're alleging, Team Spence are alleging they had an eye injury, a torn retina, and they've had consequential surgery. That's what they allege. Ever since that date, I've been trying to prove or disprove. Essentially, all I want to see is evidence either way. I don't care which way. So since they announced their pullout, I've been trying to find and ratify and confirm or deny their allegations, their story. Either way. Like I said in my first video reacting said, so far, what have we seen? Please show me evidence. Don't talk, don't comment. What evidence do we have? Because all we had was a picture from Spence. No videos. No nothing. Just a picture from Spence. That's not evidence. And it's interesting. One of my sleeper cell dons, pointed out to me today that, do you not find it interesting that we've got people like Showtime All Access, HBO 24/7, Errol Spence, how many Fox, it's Fox now, but either way, how many Fox documentaries have we seen for this fight? We've seen many Fox documentaries about this fight. We've seen many press conferences. We've seen many NSAC back and fight hype interviews. So my question to you is, why is it before the fight we get all this video evidence, but then Errol Spence pulls out, allegedly goes to hospital? Why isn't NSAC back at the hospital interviewing doctors, interviewing Errol Spence and his team at the hospital? Why isn't PBC or Fox or whoever, where's all the video cameras at the hospital? Filming it. What's going on? And most importantly, I'm sure there'll be Errol Spence fangirls out there who say, oh man, but it's it doesn't really matter because Spence has private rights. He has personal rights, and he can't. I don't want to hear that, because guess what? Errol Spence himself, never mind personal rights, or private rights, Errol Spence himself could be and should be doing videos. How about that? Why isn't he all in the video? Doing his own IG lives, getting his own team to film the surgery and film in hospital, etc, etc. Oops, you don't see it. So like I said, ever since, apart from that goofy picture they sent, which for me don't mean nothing, I could make that in 5 minutes. That don't prove nothing. So apart from one goofy picture, what have we seen? Nada. So on that basis, I reached out to the Nevada State Athletic Commission, which is indeed the commission who was overseeing the Pacquiao versus Spence bout. But more specifically and more importantly to this whole eye gate, this fake eye injury, and this pullout, NSAC is the commission who Errol Spence alleges were the ones who didn't allow him to fight. If you look at Errol Spence's initial statement when he pulled out, he said it was the commission who said he couldn't fight. Yeah, that's what he alleges. Errol Spence alleges the commission and the commission doctor said he wasn't fit to fight because of his eye. Now, the reason this is important is because, from what I understand, Errol Spence and his team essentially reported to NSAC, our eye's done, we're not going to be able to fight. That's different to the commission themselves having a look and saying, yeah, your eye's definitely done, you can't fight. Hence, I reached out to NSAC and have said to them, and you're going to see it on your screen at the moment, or see it on your screen now, I sent an email to them essentially inquiring what the bottom line is from their point of view. Errol Spence says you're the one who said he wasn't fit to fight. What's your comment on that? Anyway, let's get to their specific response. So I'll read out what I wrote. I wrote, hi, I work on behalf of a media organisation, no doubt, and I'm investigating Errol Spence's recent injury claims. Can you confirm or deny that Errol Spence was denied a licence from NSAC as a result of a failed eye/retina examination? We haven't seen any official statement from NSAC, which is suspect given usually when licences are declined, there is a statement made, which is true. If you look up, for example, if anyone fails a test, if you fail a test, a drug test or whatever, guess what? NSAC will publish it. So-and-so fighter failed test. No license. You're not fighting. Yeah? That's what normally happens. And another example, if people fail a particular examination, but bottom line is, if you fail anything to do with the commission, so if you fail a health test, if you fail a drug test, they're going to announce it. So-and-so failed a test, done. Guess what? We ain't heard no official test from no one. We ain't heard nothing, no failing of anything from the commission. And at the end of the email I put in there, this seems eerily similar to Conor McGregor's recent false statement conveniently implicating NSAC in his spin narrative. Now, the reason I attached that was to kind of set a precedent, because what do we know? What did Conor McGregor do? Well, Conor McGregor said what often these athletes try to do is they use commissions, they use organisations which have prestige to back up their narratives. Oh yeah, look, no, it wasn't nothing to do with me, look, the commission knew. Conor McGregor alleged when he lost to Dustin Poirier, to make himself look better, he said, oh yeah, no, the commission knew about my leg injury. Trying to give his excuse why he lost more support. Oh yeah, look, well, it's surely, if the commission knew that my leg was really bad anyway, then it's obvious I was going to lose, because the commission even knew I was ill or I was damaged. As we know now, the commission has come out and completely refuted Conor McGregor's claims. The commission essentially said, we didn't know anything about Conor McGregor's condition. So what I'm getting at, and what my belief is, apart from Errol Spence's team letting the commission know, I'm confident that the commission knew nothing about Errol Spence's situation either. I believe one morning the commission woke up to an email from Team Spence saying Spence won't be fighting because his eyes are twisted. That's what I believe happened, which is completely different to Errol Spence going into a commission-based eye examination and failing it, and them saying, listen, Errol, I know you really want to fight, but we're not going to grant the licence. Because the way Errol Spence makes out to be, it was as if he was at the commission eye test place, and then they said, no, we're not going to grant you a licence, and you failed to test, and he's sitting there arguing, saying, no, please, I can fight. That's not what's happened here. Team Spence reached out to the commission and said, listen, we ain't taking part in this bout because his eyes are twisted. Completely different things. Why? Because obviously a team can say anything. If a team reach out to the commission and say his leg's broke, he's not fighting, that's just what it is. The fight's not going to happen, is it? My issue is Errol Spence has muddied the water and has led the broad public to believe it was the commission and it was out of his hands, if that makes sense. Very different things. Obviously, if a commission says no, that is what it is. No one can argue with that. Yeah? No one can argue if the commission has said no. What we can argue with is if it was Team Spence who brought it to the attention of the commission first. Completely different things. Because we like to think the commission is independent. So if an independent commission doctor has looked at the eye and said no, that's fair enough. It's difficult for us to argue with that. However, if it's what I understand to be the case, that some random Team Spence diagnosis was made, that's not what has been out in the public from the jump either. Errol Spence could have come out and said, oh, I had a random eye examination today and it's found out I had a tear. He never said that. He said it was the commission and the commission doctors, as you've seen in this video. Anyway, let's get to their response. The commission replied, good afternoon. Executive Director Bennett is available to speak with you this afternoon between 2 and 4 p.m. Pacific Time. If this afternoon does not work, feel free to call next week. Our office number is whatever it is. Listen. Now, this for me was suspect.com. I'll tell you what, suspect.com. It feels to me as if they're trying to do some sort of feeling out, some recon, some information, contact information recon right now on the YB, because should be a simple yes or no, shouldn't it? Was it the commission doctors who said his eye was twisted or not? I don't know about you, but what's there to talk about? Now we will get to this. I live in the UK, so the times was messed up. So no doubt, undoubtedly, we'll get to the phone call at some point next week. That said, this for me was unsatisfactory because we live in 2021. There's nothing wrong with email. Many things get done via email. It's almost like I had the feeling that they're trying to set me up to some sort of politicking. Oh, well, let's get him on the phone and let's see if we can talk him round in circles first, isn't it? Because it should be simple yes or no. Was it the Commission who identified and therefore essentially revoked his licence or refused to grant him the fight, or not? That's all we need to know. Yes, it was Commission doctors who were the first to notice his eye was busted. Or no, Team Spence were the ones who made us aware that his eye was twisted. Two different things. Unfortunately, to this day, we're none the wiser. Because they be trying to play smart games, in my opinion. I believe PBC and Al Heyman, NSAC have been touched by PBC, no doubt. Yeah, but you best believe they sweating. The wire be on their neck and they sweating right now. 100%. They've been sweating this weekend. About get me on the phone. What do you need to go on the phone for? On the phone for what? I haven't asked you. It's not one of them ones, is it? I haven't said, oh, what's your comment about this? I've asked you a simple question. Was it a Commission discovery, or was it not? Yeah, very simple stuff. And like I said, in 2021, it should be very easy to send an email back. Forward this email to the director and get him to pop me back. All this phone stuff. Again, another hint I got was that it's almost like a deflection tactic to buy some more time. Oh well, essentially anything but to answer the question. Because in my mind, if someone asks me a question, forward it to the person in question. Forward it to the relevant department and have them answer it. There's no phone call about it. It's not as if I've said, oh, is it possible to talk to the director on the phone? No, I've sent you an email asking a question. Answer the question. Or if you don't, it seems to me, I'm going to take it one way. If you fail to answer, and the thing is as well, this wasn't a complex four-tier email. It was very simple, straight to the point. So if you study human behaviour, over time you'll notice that there's different ways of doing things. When people stop being direct, when people start taking the long way around things, this should have been a simple response in email form, shouldn't it? It should have taken 2 minutes. But the fact they want to get it all on the phone, oh yeah, let's talk on the phone and let's see if we can get you on the phone and politic you to death and talk the ears off you and offer you some money under the table. You know what I'm saying? Or get some more info. This was a recon task, 100%. Get him on the phone, find his information out, and then silver or lead, platter or plumber. Yeah, no doubt, 100%. But why be too smart for it? You ain't gonna catch me lacking like that, no doubt. Yeah, you've been caught. Simple as that. You've been caught, and now you're sweating. You've been sweating all weekend. Yeah. Too late. No answer. And it's an old saying. Not an old saying, but listen. If I ask you a question, and you answer that with another question, I ask you a simple question. Was the Commission responsible for calling this fight off? And you respond with, oh, can we speak on the phone? Oh, well, are you available to talk on the phone? Talk on the phone about what? More questions. Answering a question with a question. That's sus. That's what you call buying time. Yeah? No doubt. Anyway, Team Spence, exposed, Commission, because you man have got to remember, yeah, all these people are in bed together. The Commission needs the boxers, so they're all in bed together. People have made allegations against Alvarez before, and how his ban was whatever. I don't know about that. All I know is they're all in bed together, and they all work in the same machine, massaging and lubricating it. So I wouldn't be shocked at all to find out that they're probably trying to get their... Listen, in fact, I know for a fact, this last weekend, they've been all working hard to get their story straight. You best believe that. But anyway, we'll see how it plays out, and I'll be back, no doubt.